This is Nick here from Everything Tech, and today what we have is a Blue Studio X Plus 5.5 inch Android unlocked phone. Full review right now. So starting off this video, we're going to talk about the hardware of the Blue Studio 5.5X Plus. So going on to the front, you can see we have a 5.5 inch screen right here with a 2 megapixel front facing camera. There's an earpiece right here. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. I am outside, so there might be a little overexposure. Going to the bottom, you're going to see there is nothing down here. Going off to the sides, you're going to see there is a power button flanked in this little brushed aluminum plasticky feel, which actually looks quite nice. Going up to the top, you're going to see your micro USB port, and then you're going to see your 3.5mm headset jack right there. Going on to the left side, engraved in this plastic faux brush metal, is going to be the power down and power up button. Going over to the back, you're going to see engraved the blue logo in a chrome polish, with the top being a camera, which comes in at 8 megapixels, and this is a LED flash, which does have a flashlight. And going to the bottom, we're going to have our speaker cut out right there. So that's pretty much a hardware tour of the device. The second thing I want to talk about with the Blue Studio X Plus 5.5 inch is its build quality. And there is no creaks or nothing to this phone. I mean, I'm squeezing it right here and you don't hear nothing. This baby has a nice build quality. It feels akin to something like a Samsung Galaxy, I would say like, you know, the Galaxy S4, but a little more sturdier than that. It has that same curvish feel, but it's got a nice weight to it at 172 grams, I believe. It's slightly heavier than the iPhone 6 Plus, but it's almost the same exact weight as that, and it doesn't feel super cheap. It has a matte plastic back, so if you don't like to rock it without a case, which it does include in the box, you're going to get a nice feeling of texture, kind of like the Moto G second generation gives you. So overall, I would have to say the build quality is quite solid, and I think you will be pleased with the way this phone feels for this price. So the first test we're going to do on the Blue Studio X Plus 5.5 inch is going to be the boot up test. So let's boot this baby right up. Now I'm going to skip to the end of this boot up if it takes too long, but let's just get a little quick look at how it looks when it boots up. So it's going to show you this white screen, and it's going to go like this little blue thing right here. And from here out, I'll skip to the end and tell you the exact time it took. So now that we're all booted up into the Blue Studio X 5.5 inch Plus, we're going to unlock this phone and we're going to talk about the real world usage of the phone. So going into the phone, you're going to see we run Android Lollipop. I'm going to scroll over and you're going to see, let me turn off that blue light filter. We're running Android Lollipop 5.0, which is not the latest. I think they're on 5.1 now. But it's nice to see that Blue is actually sticking to what they say on the box when they say they're going to upgrade to version 5.0, which it says right there. So you are going to get Lollipop, and you could try this impossible Lollipop game that I think my top score was like 5, but you know, that's about it. Anyway, I've used this phone for about a week now, and the real world usage is, it's okay. I mean, I want to give you my positive, honest, and my negative honest. My positive honest, actually let's start with the negative because they're easier to come about. The negative is sometimes you have to tap things twice for it to open, and sometimes things are a little sluggish, but I mean, this is only sluggish when you're talking about phones that have 2 gigabytes of RAM and up, more high-end phones. And I don't like to compare this to high-end phones because, you know, it's high-end phones are a lot more expensive, but I'm just saying, if you ever use the higher end phone, you'll know that there's some sluggishness to this. Not much you're going to notice, but if you're coming from anything with less specs than this is going to be just an absolute bounce in speed. So the positives are it's really smooth, and for the most part, I would say 95% of the time, it works pretty damn great. Now, it's not going to blow your socks off the speed, but it's not going to disappoint either. It'll get the job done. And that's pretty much the story of this phone, starting with real world usage, is it gets the job done in pretty much every aspect that I've tested so far in my Blue Studio. Now, you may have got one that is not working quite as well, but I threw Google Launcher on here, which you're seeing right here, and it just runs pretty like a mouse. I want to just show you kind of an app switching speed. I mean, I already did the performance test, but I want to show you just like how it looks when you're actually moving through the motion. So we're in settings. You're going to see we're going to hop out. We're going to go back into settings. You're going to see we're going to go into phone. We're going to go into messages. We're going to go into apps. We're going to go into Clean Master. We're going to see some app closing out right there. We're going to go into YouTube real quick. You're going to see how fast things open. And then we're just gonna do the double swipe down. See if I can get that. We're gonna do the double swipe down. We're gonna turn on the flash. See right there. We're gonna come back out. We're gonna hit calculator. We're gonna do, actually we're gonna hit that again. We're gonna do a quick calculation. 55 times 6, 330 plus 3, 333. We're gonna come back out. We're gonna hit calendar. We're gonna come back out. We're gonna hop into Amazon because we want to shop right now. So we're gonna hit that up. Amazon's taking a second to load, and this is on Wi-Fi, so this is dependent on your Wi-Fi connection, but you can just see how the phone is performing, which is pretty well. We're gonna go into Android Central and check out the news that's going on in Android. We're gonna come back out. We're gonna check my battery optimization, see what's going on. 71% power, 8 hours remaining. It's optimized, and that's pretty much what you're gonna expect with the speed of this phone. And that's me flying through because I'm pretty, fat. I like to move fast with my Android phones like that. No, but anyway. If you're just casually browsing, it'll be pretty good. So yeah. Talking about battery life on the Blue Studio, we're gonna pop this off and show you that it comes with a 2600 milliamp hour battery in the back, and this is one of the negative parts of the phone that I really didn't like. And by the way, this case on the back is really sturdy and it's not that easy to get off. It's a little scary that you might break it. But this is a 2600 milliamp. I don't want to take it out because I want to get into the real usage of it. So anyway, today I'm home a little early because the phone actually was going to die a little earlier than I like, so I had to come home and throw it on the charger. But right now I'm at 75%, and I'm using a battery saver plus because it just eats really quickly. I don't know if it's my device or what, but I'm noticing that from like 100% to like about 80 to 70, it just flies down. It's remarkable. I took it off the charger, and about 2 seconds later, it was not 2 seconds, that's exaggerating. 2 minutes later, it went down to 98%, and I was like, are you serious? Like, this is crazy. So as you can see, I took it off the charge at about 9:30 a.m. and it's not even 3 o'clock, and it's already at 75%. So it's not even noon, my bad. It's only been on for like two and a half hours, and it's already dropped 25%. So, I mean, and I haven't really been using it that hard. I just listen to some music. If you use this phone hard, it's going to die in about 4 to 5 hours, maybe even less. So this is about a 9 to 5 kind of phone. 9 to 5 if you're doing your job or whatever. It'll probably last from those hours, but it's not the best overall phone for battery life. So just be aware of that aspect. So the next thing I want to get into, guys, is the sound quality of the phone. So if we head over into settings, you are going to see that if I go into sound and notifications, if I go into general and then I go down into a phone ringtone, we're going to see some blue stuff. I'm going to turn the volume all the way up so you can hear. It's pretty decently loud. It's not overly loud, but you'll hear it, you'll hear the phone. It's a little bit tinny. But overall, I mean, for this price, there's no complaining. It's really decent. It's good enough. It gets the job done, essentially. So I don't think you're going to have too much complaints with it, other than the fact if you're a media hound, you might have a complaint with the fact that the speaker's on the back and not firing right at you. That might be a problem for you. But, like I said, this phone is $128.99. So all of these things I'm saying is real world usage, but it's just kind of nitpicking because unlocked, you really can't beat this deal. Now, I already mentioned software a little bit more in the beginning of the review, but I want to dive into the software of the phone. Yes, we run Android Lollipop, as I said earlier, but it's pretty close to stock. And what I want to talk about is how Blue really doesn't include any of their own features. It's pretty much bare bones. I think they include a couple things like a slightly tweaked, I'm not going to go into my messages because I don't want to show you them, but a slightly tweaked messaging app. They have a couple of ringtones, a couple of message tones. They added, I think, a couple of things in here like this timeout and this data connection audio profiles. But overall, it's really bare bones stock, and that's a good thing because with memory management on Android Lollipop, it really makes this phone actually feel a lot quicker than it should be with these kind of specs. But you know what? Android Lollipop, pretty bare bones. Blue added slightly a little bit of tweaks, even less than what Motorola adds on their Moto G and Moto E. And I think if you like stock Android, you're going to enjoy this phone. Talking about the screen quality, guys, on here, this is a 5.5-inch 1280 by 720p resolution screen coming in at 268 ppi. And what I want to talk about in the screen quality is that it's pretty sharp. I mean, unless you're like one of those pixel freaks who like really cares and wants to like really on their phone and really get close, you know what I'm talking about. And oh, I have to have 1080p. I mean, the phone is sharp enough. I mean, it gets the job done. I mean, it's sharper than pretty much any phone prior to 720p, and I mean, I think most people are going to be pleased with this. If you ever had a Galaxy Note 2, this is like the exact same PPI. It's like almost the same kind of screen as the Galaxy Note 2 sans Super AMOLED. It's not a Super AMOLED. It's like a blue infinite view technology IPS panel, so the viewing angles stay pretty sharp on multiple angles. I was really pleased with the display. It gets pretty bright and it gets pretty dim if you set the adaptive brightness mode, which I can show you right here in Lollipop. If you go into display, no, that's not enough. If you go into display and you go to adaptive brightness, you can actually make it even low at night so you can read. So it gets really dim too. So if you turn that off, it gets really bright again. So that's a nice touch. So overall, the screen quality is a thumbs up. Now guys, what we're going to do is we're going to hop into the camera and give you a little gist of what the camera looks like, and this is what it looks like. It is a modified a little bit by Blue. They have live photo mode here, beauty face right here, panoramic mode, HDR, flash, front facing camera. As you can see, you can flip this around to the front facing camera, flip it back around. And then you're going to have some other smiley face features, you know, geotagging, stuff like that. Going into here, you're going to have, this kind of looks like the older Android look. You're going to have white balance, image properties. You're going to have volume keys, shutter sound, things like that. And going over here, face detection, self timer, continuous shot, picture size. You can change the picture size, preview size, ISO. So this is pretty nice that they include all these features. Noise reduction, ESI, microphone, and I'm going to say the camera quality is pretty good on this phone. Focus speeds are not the fastest, but they'll get the job done, as you can see right there. And I'm going to include a few photos right now. So we're going to stop talking right now, and we're going to show you a few photos right now, and maybe one video as well. Test, guys, we're going to perform the pocket test of the Blue Studio 5.5. So I'm wearing some regular dude size shorts, medium or large, I don't even know exactly, but we're going to see how it flips into a pocket. As you can see, it goes right in the pocket. It's totally covered. It does have a little weight to it. You will feel it in your pockets, but overall it slips right in, and it will be fine going in pockets if you wear dude size jeans or pants. If you're a girl, you might have a little bit of the edge at the top sticking out, but overall it's a pretty pocketable phone, pretty portable. Call quality on the Blue Studio X Plus has been pretty damn good. I'm actually pretty surprised and happy with it. There's a speaker grill up here for you to hear, and people sound clear, and I didn't have anybody saying anything about my phone sound like crap. Down here is going to be the little cutout mic, and you'll see that with the case on as well. It's the mic for when you talk and stuff like that. But overall, I mean, the call quality is a thumbs up. I'm actually liking it. It does come with dual SIM, so you can use this on multiple carriers. You can have a T-Mobile SIM card, and you can have an AT&T SIM card and bounce back between work and personal. Or if you're doing if you're messing with some girls, and you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about, fellas. If you're messing with some girls and you want to switch it up, you can have two in there at once. So I'm not condemning any of you guys do that, but you know, you got that option. What I want to do, guys, is put this case on to show you how this case that it comes with looks on the phone and give you my overall impressions of the Blue Studio X Plus. So it fits on nice and snugly, as you can see, and it really looks nice. It feels nice as well. It gives it a little more heft than it even feels like when it comes out of the box, but it gives it a nice solid feeling. And you know what? It's a pretty nice case. I mean, to throw that in there free is a nice touch. And they also include headphones, but you can check those headphones out as well in the unboxing below. I'm going to leave in the description, and I'm going to leave an annotation. But what are my overall impressions of the Blue Studio X Plus? My overall impressions are, if you are a person who doesn't have too much to spend or doesn't really care too much about the latest and greatest specs, but you want a solid performing big screen smartphone, this is the phone for you. This is going to cost you less than $150. It's 5.5 inches, so it's big, but it's not like a 6-inch phone. Like, they got the Blue Studio 6 too. If you're really on the massive phones, they even got a 7, which I did a video on. You can check that down below if you haven't already seen that video. But overall, yeah, it's for anybody who wants an affordable smartphone and maybe a backup phone, a backup phablet phone if there's breaks or something. My Optimus G Pro broke, so I actually bought this, and I'm quite pleased with it. It's not the same as the Optimus G Pro. It doesn't have the 1080p, but it's a kind of a temporary phone for me. But anyways, that's about it on the Blue Studio X Plus. So if you enjoyed this review, please hit that thumbs up down below, share with your friends, and if you're feeling really awesome today, subscribe to the channel so you can see more of the greatest and latest tech news that I can offer up to you, as it helps out the channel a lot. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.